They decided to stop loving you. It was not a passing thought. It was not a bad night. It was a decision they made with their jaw tight and their hands still in a room where no one could hear them. They said, "It is over." They said, "I am done." They said, "I will not carry this anymore." And for a moment it felt like the truth. But something inside them refused, not their mind. Their mind was ready. Their mind had built the case. Their mind had lined up every reason, every wound, every silence that lasted too long, every moment where the distance between you felt like proof that this was never meant to last. The mind was finished. The mind had moved on. But something deeper than the mind said no. Something that does not listen to logic. Something that does not care about reasons. Something that lives underneath every decision they have ever made and has been quietly choosing you since the day you first touched their life. And that something is still choosing you right now. Before I go any further, I need you to hear this. Whatever happened between you and this person, whatever silence grew, whatever distance was built, you were not the one who imagined the connection. You did not create it out of loneliness. You did not build it out of hope. What you felt between you was placed there by something bigger than both of you. And no decision made by one person in one room can undo what the universe placed between two souls. The connection was real, not because you wished it into being, because it was placed there. Hold on to that as you listen to the rest of this message. Welcome to Soul Signal. Subscribe now and turn on all notifications so you never miss when the universe has something to share with you. Something is happening right now in the space between you and this person. The universe brought you to this message tonight because what you are about to hear has been moving through silence and divine timing to reach you at this exact moment. Your presence here is not random. Your soul called this in, and now it is here. Let your body settle. They made the decision, and they meant it. Maybe it was something you said that they took the wrong way. Maybe it was a fear they carried from long before you. Maybe it was someone else's voice in their head telling them this would never work. Maybe it was the weight of loving someone so deeply that it scared them more than being alone. Maybe it was nothing you did at all. But they had a plan, a real plan. Not a hope, not a wish. A way to stop feeling what they feel for you. They were going to fill their days until there was no room left for your name. They were going to meet new people until your face stopped being the first one they looked for. They were going to build a life so full that the empty space you left would disappear under the weight of everything new. It was a good plan, a logical plan, the kind of plan that works for most people with most feelings. But what they feel for you is not most feelings. The first night after they made the decision, something happened. They were lying in bed. The room was dark. Everything was quiet. And your name rose up from somewhere inside their chest, like smoke from a fire they thought they had put out. They did not call it. They did not invite it. It just came. The way breathing comes. The way a heartbeat comes. Without permission. Without warning. Without any way to send it back. And in that dark room, they realized something that scared them more than any silence you ever gave them. The love they feel for you does not take orders. It does not care that they decided to stop. It does not respect the plan. It lives in a place inside them that their decisions cannot reach. Something inside them refused. And it was louder than everything their mind had to say. And I need you to hear this. You are not the reason they are afraid. Whatever excuse they used to build their case against loving you, it was never about you. It was about their fear. Fear wears many faces. Sometimes it looks like distance. Sometimes it looks like a decision. Sometimes it looks like someone choosing to walk away from the most real thing they have ever touched. But underneath all of it, the fear is always the same. They are afraid of how much you matter. You were never the problem. You were always the answer they were not brave enough to accept. If you already know who tried to stop loving you, type "they tried" in the comments. 2 words. The universe knows the rest. The spiritual world has been watching this person since the moment they made their decision. And what the universe is showing me right now is someone who is holding on harder than they have ever held on to anything. Not holding on to you. Holding on to the idea that they can live without you. And it is not working. They tried harder after that first night. They told themselves the feeling would fade. They told themselves that time would do what their willpower could not. They threw themselves into work, into routines, into anything that kept their hands busy and their mind full. They changed small things, the route they take in the morning, the music they listen to, the places they eat. Anything that carried a trace of you was removed, replaced, rearranged. They were building a version of their life where you had never existed. But you cannot rebuild a house and pretend the foundation is not still there. Your love is not something they hung on the wall that they can take down and put in a box. It is something that seeped into the walls themselves, into the floors, into the air that fills every room they walk into. They changed the music, but their body still paused at the part of a song where the melody bent in a way that reminded them of you. Something about the sound carried the shape of your voice. They changed their route, but they passed a street that held the same number of letters as your name, and their chest went tight for no reason they could explain to anyone. They told a friend they were over you, and the moment those words left their mouth, something inside their stomach turned. Not guilt. Something older than guilt. The feeling of saying something so far from the truth that your own body pulls back from it. They are over you the way the ocean is over the things buried in its floor. The surface looks calm. The surface looks like it has moved on, but underneath everything is still exactly where it was. Untouched, unmoved, waiting. Something inside them refused to let your love be erased. Because your love is not a file stored in their memory. It is something deeper. It seeped into the rhythm of how they breathe, into the warmth their body expects when someone stands close, into the weight of silence that only felt safe when you were the one sitting in it with them. The spiritual world calls this love residue. It is what remains after someone's presence has touched you at a level deeper than memory. Memory can be rewritten. Residue cannot. It lives in the body, in the bones, in the way a person's shoulders drop when they hear a certain voice, in the way a laugh lands differently when it comes from the one person who made laughter feel like medicine. You left a residue on this person that no amount of distance or decision or time can wash clean, and every day they try to scrub it away, it only goes deeper. The divine made it that way, not to punish them, to protect what is real. Type one thing about you that you know they could never forget. Just one thing. Let the universe hold it. But while they have been trying to silence what they feel, something has been growing in you too. Something you did not plan. Something the universe has been building quietly inside you while you were not watching. You stopped arguing with your own worth. There was a time when every silence from them made you question yourself. When every distance made you wonder what you did wrong. When you spent your nights rebuilding your own value with shaking hands because someone else's absence had knocked it down again. That time is over. Not because someone proved your worth to you, because you stopped needing proof. You stopped translating your feelings into a language they could understand. You used to do that. You used to take the deepest, truest things you felt and flatten them into smaller words, simpler words, words that would not scare anyone, words that would not ask too much, and it cost you something every time you did it. You made yourself easier to hold, easier to handle, easier to leave. You do not do that anymore. Something in you settled, not closed, settled, the way a river settles after a storm, still moving, still alive, but no longer crashing against its own banks. You found a current that belongs to you, and you are following it, not because someone pointed the way, because the water already knew where to go. You stopped making yourself easier to leave. And that shift, my dear, is something they can feel from wherever they are right now. Not that you became hard, not that you built a wall, but that you stopped arranging yourself into a shape that fit their comfort. You stopped dimming the parts of you that were too bright for their courage. You stopped being easy to walk away from. And you started being true, and none of it was wasted. Not the love you gave them, not the nights you stayed longer than you should have, not the leaving when you finally did, not the tears, not the mornings you got up anyway. Every single step you took brought you to this version of yourself. The one who no longer begs to be chosen. The one who no longer needs someone else's voice to feel real. The universe sees that. Every force that has ever held you sees that, and they see it too. Even while they are trying to stop loving you, they can feel that the person they are trying to walk away from is not the same person who would have waited forever. And that terrifies them in a way nothing else could. If their name just crossed your mind while listening, type "still here" in the comments. Those words are not about them. They are about the part of you that never stopped knowing. Now the universe is showing me something about what started happening inside their body. Something they did not expect. Something that was not part of their plan to stop loving you. Their heart started to move differently. Not all the time, just at certain moments. A name that sounds like yours in a stranger's mouth. A color that matches something you used to wear. A time on a clock that lines up with a number that belongs to both of you. In those moments, their heart jumps before their mind can catch it. A half second of rushing that comes from nowhere and belongs to no reason. Their breath started catching, stopping for half a beat in the middle of ordinary moments. Not from fear, not from pain, from something deeper. Their body recognizes you in places where you are not there. And every time it does, it pauses, the way a person pauses when they hear a familiar song in a place they have never been before. Their dreams turned against them. They can control what they think about during the day. They can steer their thoughts away from you. They can change the subject inside their own head. But no one controls their dreams. And in their dreams, you are everywhere. You are sitting across from them, saying things they have never heard you say in real life. You are laughing in a room that does not exist. You are looking at them with eyes that hold no anger and no distance, just truth. Just the kind of love that does not perform. Just presence. They wake from those dreams, and for 3 seconds, they forget they decided to stop loving you. For 3 seconds, the decision does not exist. For 3 seconds, there is only the feeling of being near you and the warmth that comes with it. And then the 4th second arrives, and they remember the plan, and the warmth drains out of the room like water through a crack in the floor. Those 3 seconds are destroying the plan faster than anything else. Because in those 3 seconds, their body tells the truth. And the truth is that something inside them refused and is still refusing right now. Place your hand flat on your chest right now, not over your heart, just below it, on the space between your ribs. That is where the body holds what the mind tries to throw away. Feel the warmth there. That warmth is not random. That is the place where their love still lives inside you, whether you invited it or not. The divine placed it there. And what the divine places, no human decision can remove. The spiritual world calls what is happening inside this person the quiet rebellion. It is when the body turns against the mind's decision. The mind says, stop loving them. The body says, no. The mind says, move on. The body says, I am not finished. Every heartbeat is a vote. Every dream is a protest. Every catch in the breath is a message the body is sending to the soul saying, I will not let you lose this person. And the soul is listening. A wise man once understood that where love rules, there is no will to power. And where power rules, love is absent. This person tried to rule their feelings with power, with control, with the cold, clean blade of a decision made in daylight. But love does not live in daylight. Love lives in the space between the ribs where no decision can reach. And in that space, there is no power. There is only truth. And the truth refused. And you did not cause what is happening inside them. You did not start it. You did not ask them to feel what they feel. You simply existed. You simply loved. You simply were yourself in a way that touched something so deep inside them that no amount of willpower could reach it to turn it off. That is not a burden. That is a gift. Your presence in someone's life was so real that their own soul will not let them pretend it was not. If you have ever felt someone's love reach you through silence, type, I felt it, in the comments. Not because you need proof, because the universe collects these moments. They are beginning to understand something now, something they have been running from since the day they made the decision. The refusal is not a mistake. It is not leftover feeling that has not caught up with reality yet. It is not the echo of something that used to be alive. The refusal is the most honest thing inside them. It is the part of them that existed before the fear, before the pride, before the story they told themselves about why loving you would not work, before every excuse they stacked up like stones between you and them. Underneath all of that, there's a version of this person that has no walls, no strategy, no plan. Just a heart that recognized yours and made a choice that no later decision could undo. They are realizing that the love they tried to stop was never a choice they made. It was something that was placed inside them, the way a seed is placed in soil. You do not choose to grow, you just do. And they have been trying to pull up something that has roots deeper than anything they can reach with their hands. The universe has a name for this. The unbreakable thread. It is the connection that exists between two souls that recognized each other at a level the mind cannot touch. You can stretch this thread across years, across silence, across entire lifetimes of distance. You can bury it under new people and new cities and new versions of yourself. But you cannot cut it, because it was not tied by human hands. It was woven by something older than both of you. And what the universe weaves, it does not allow to be undone by one person's fear. They feel this thread every day. They feel it pull when they least expect it. In the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a crowd, in the middle of telling themselves they are fine. The pull comes. Gentle, steady, patient, and it draws them towards something their mind keeps saying no to, but their soul has never stopped saying yes. The spiritual world calls this moment soul override. It is the moment when the soul steps in and takes back control from the mind. The mind made a decision. The soul said no, not with force, with patience. The soul waited for the mind to exhaust itself. It waited for every plan to fail. It waited for every wall to crack. And now it is stepping through, quietly, the way dawn steps through darkness, not by fighting the night, just by arriving. Something inside them refused, and that something is their soul, and their soul has always known what their mind was too afraid to accept. Jung once said that the most terrifying thing a person can do is fully accept themselves. This person is standing at the edge of that terror right now. Because accepting what they feel for you means accepting a part of themselves they have been running from. The part that needs, the part that aches, the part that cannot be controlled by logic or pride or any decision made alone in the dark. Accepting the refusal means accepting that they are not as strong as they thought, not as free as they pretended, not as finished as they told everyone they were. And that acceptance is coming, not because they are brave enough to choose it, because they are running out of strength to refuse it. The soul does not lose what it was always meant to keep. It just waits, and it is almost done waiting. Something inside them refused, and that something is winning. Bring both hands to the sides of your face right now. Hold your own face the way someone holds something precious. That is not comfort. That is your body reminding your mind who you are. You are someone worth refusing to let go of. Let your hands tell you what the universe already knows about you. My dear, hear this. What is happening inside them is not yours to carry. The struggle between their heart and their mind is something they must walk through alone. The refusal inside them is not your job to feed or to wait for. It is theirs. The thread between you exists whether they say it out loud or not. The residue you left exists whether they try to scrub it away or not. None of that needs you to stand still. Your life did not pause when they declared war on their feelings. Your morning still came, your breath still moved, your hands still found things to build, and every day you built something that belongs only to you. Not a wall, not armor. Something softer and more lasting than either. A knowing. A deep settled knowing that you do not need someone else's surrender to feel whole. Their refusal to stop loving you is not what gives you value. You had value before they ever knew your name. You had value on every night they chose silence. You had value on the day they made their decision to stop. Your worth does not rise when someone loves you, and it does not fall when someone tries to stop. It just is. The way the sun does not need anyone to agree with it in order to shine. You do not owe them patience while they find their way back to themselves. You do not owe them a door that stays unlocked while they figure out which version of themselves is real. You do not owe them the softness of your forgiveness just because the refusal inside them finally won. The universe did not heal you so you could set your peace down the moment someone reaches for you again. If they come to you, it will be because the refusal won, not because you waited, not because you made it easy, because something inside them was louder than every reason they gave themselves to stay away. And if that moment comes, your heart will know what to do. Not because someone told you, because your body will feel the difference between someone who stopped resisting out of tiredness and someone who stopped resisting because they finally saw the truth. Those are not the same thing, and you know the difference now. You learned it without a teacher. You learned it the hard way, and what you learned lives in your bones now, that knowing is sacred, and the universe honors it. Type unbreakable if you believe some connections cannot be destroyed no matter how hard someone tries. Something is shifting right now in the energy around this connection, not just inside them, between you. The air between you and this person has been changing for days. You may have already felt it. A warmth at a time that makes no sense. A pull in your chest that arrives without anyone calling it. Their face in your mind at an hour so exact it cannot be random. A feeling in your body that something somewhere is bending toward you. These are not accidents. These are signals. The unbreakable thread is doing what it has always done, carrying feeling across distance, carrying truth across silence, carrying the weight of a refusal that has been building inside them until even the air between you starts to hum with it. The universe does not let a refusal this strong stay locked inside one